Good morning, everybody. Wake up. Wake up, wake up. In Provincetown. This week featuring Wake up, wake up. Can I have some coffee? Wake up, wake up. Make it strong, please. Hey. Oh. Hey. Wake up, wake up. Oh. No, really, can I have some coffee? Wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up. Wake up, wake up. Feels like I'm here for the first time. I lost my really good Yeti cup. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. It's Friday, March 8th, no matter what YouTube tells you. Thank you for waking up in Provincetown. We have a really wonderful show for you today, don't we?
Yeah, we do.
Tell them.
I'm so jealous of you. You got to hang out with the two guys from Botanica. That's one of my favorite shops in town.
You guys, just, if you haven't been in Botanica, it's one of those spaces where you walk in and there's instantly this sense of calm and beauty.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to, like, curl up under a shelf and hope that they don't notice me and just live there.
Like a little cat.
Yeah, like let me stay here.
But we have that interview for you. We also have Ryan LaSala coming in to chat about his books.
The yassified R.L. Stein himself.
Yes. We also have Pastor David Brown and Kate Wallace Rogers coming in to talk about the Pond Village congregation and their search for funds to purchase their church.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How was your week?
It was like chock full.
Oh, wow.
I know. It was so busy. So last weekend was the 24-hour play festival.
How did that go?
It went really well, but it's one of those things where, you know, we tell people before every performance, this is how this works. Like, we got together last night, the writer drew the name of a director out of the hat, the director drew names of actors. So, like, the writer didn't know who they were writing for until that night. And yet, the next night after the performance, I had Brian Calhoun, who's like 7 feet tall, and I wrote him to be a basketball player named Shaquille. And his mother, played by Jada Carroll, who is a woman who could be old enough to be his mother, was like this basketball obsessed woman who like wanted to raise a basketball player. And after the play, everybody was like, how lucky for that writer that you got cast in that play he wrote about a basketball player. And Brian was like, he wrote it because I was in it. He didn't write that before.
How tall is he?
Like almost 7 feet tall.
How did that?
I know.
I didn't realize
You
that.
usually see him up on a porch playing a marimba, and
That's
because
true.
the marimba is such a large instrument, he probably looks like proportionate.
Yeah.
Or proportional. Proportionate?
Proportionizing.
Banana for scale. What I don't know what that means, but he looks banana
You're
for
canceled.
scale. Eggplant for scale.
Oh my God. But it went well.
It went great.
Great.
And then it was so much theater last week. On Monday, you know those Cody plays that happen at
Yeah.
the Gifford House? Mark talked me into doing a Cody play. I think this time of year it's every 2 weeks or once a month. Every 2 weeks. So the next one is the Monday after St. Patrick's Day. Right? Yeah. I wore all my green today instead. But have you ever been to one of those or been in one of those?
I have not.
They're really, really fun. And Cody chose a play that he had written in 2020 during like the darkest days of the pandemic about a bathhouse that was forced to sell and like what the people who were, it's very much like we have to raise some money to save this place that we love. And so like it had some heart, it had like a lot of hilarious moments. And I was like, this was like a super fun thing to do.
That's wicked cute.
I know.
Yeah.
Tuesday went to Mona's Trivia, another wild ride. So wild that I had to like lay in bed all day on Wednesday. And then last night, I finally made it over to the Muse at Spindler's.
Oh my God, how was the Muse?
Delicious. And I love what they've done. Even since when I did that interview in there, they've changed so much. Like, remember, he was like, we've brought a lot of art over from the original Muse. And we like did this little panning shot. They've changed all of that. They've changed a bunch of the light fixtures.
Damn.
It feels like a whole brand new space, and it was packed. Everything was delicious. Everybody was having a good time. I'm really happy for them. So congratulations, Ron, Robin, and team. Beautiful job with not the new Muse, but the Muse at that location, which is where we're going to enjoy it for the rest of the year.
That's exciting.
I know, you need to get in there.
It has like this same vibe as the old space.
Similar vibe. And I asked our server, I was like, how's it going? She was like, well, this is only my third shift. They've only been doing it for like 5 shifts. She's like, I'm still just trying to figure out where everything is. And I was like, I get that.
Well, so many of their staff had been there for so long. I can't imagine trying to like it's one thing to go work at a new restaurant, but then to like work at the same restaurant but in a different space, like that's bizarre.
Right. Imagine if like the Red Inn was suddenly at June Bar. You'd be like, where is everything?
Yeah, totally.
But excellent experience.
That's exciting.
How was your week?
My week was good. I also did a little theater. On Wednesday, I went to go see the B-Plot reading series, which is the reading series that Peter Toto and Eden Allegretti put together through the Provincetown Theater and also the Commons.
Mm-hmm.
And it was another amazing one. It was Eden and Gina who did...
Gina Carmella.
Was it?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank
Oh,
you.
I guess I don't know their last name.
Fuck you and you. Hi, Gina.
But they were incredible. It was kind of eye-opening because it was kind of about it was a bit of a coming out story, and just it was called Plot Points from Our Sexual Development. So it kind of started as these two characters just going back and forth telling stories about their sexual development throughout their lives, and one of the characters is a queer woman, the other was a trans person, and relating the trans person's experience to them having their sexual awakenings to my own was eye-opening, because I feel like we all often think that queer people's experiences are all different but the same, and that was a very different experience, and it was eye-opening seeing the differences and similarities. Was redundant, but it was great. It was awesome.
I think I know what you mean.
Great, I love that. But it was awesome. Both performers were wildly amazing. I'm always blown away when these people do these readings, and I'm like, yo, pick it up and put it on a stage. It's ready.
Is this every Wednesday?
No, it is. They typically the first Wednesday of every month.
Okay.
They choose a play to read, and typically they go for something that is a little kind of has like a younger perspective, a fresher perspective, and they've been picking really, really interesting things. My favorite, I walked in and I was talking to Eden, and I was like, oh, does anyone's scream blank in this? I'm not going to say it because it's a bad word. And she's like, yeah, I do. It's the C word.
Oh.
And I've done 2 readings, and I had to say it in the first one, and in the second one, I think it was Brittany Rolfs who had to say it. And I was like, haha, does anyone have to say that word? And she's like, it's weird, I do. She's like, that's our through line. Every play we pick has
so it's the C-Plot reading series.
The C-Plot reading series.
That's fun. I wanted to go to that, but
it was really good.
The next one's part of Lesbian Visibility.
Yes.
It's at last summer at Bluefish Cove on
April
April 24th.
24th, last summer at Bluefish Cove. Collaboration with Babes and Boys.
The night before the Red Inn opens for the season.
In celebration of Lesbian Visibility Day week.
We're already there. It's about time to go back to work.
Don't say that.
Oh.
I don't want to go back.
So that you did that on Wednesday.
I did that on Wednesday. Another fun thing I did, I know I talked about the Mario Kart tournament happening at
You're going to win.
The Mario Kart tournament happening at the Crown and Anchor, hosted by Giselle. It is the Summer of Sass fundraiser. It is $20 to enter, free to watch.
I'm not going to come watch you play video games. I'm going to pay.
Are you going to play?
No, I'm going to pay to watch you. No, I'm just kidding. No,
It's free to watch me.
I don't.
Bob just went on a rant before the show about people watching video games.
People making a living by having other people watch them play video games.
Yeah.
Listen, when video games were invented back when I was a kid, all you wanted was to be the person playing. Watching the other person play was the boring part. It was like, give me the controller, give me the
I
controller.
don't think that's true. You look back to like the 80s and like the classic scene of like the kid around the Tetris machine at the arcade, and there's a group of kids behind him cheering him on.
There was a Tetris machine? Yeah. I think of Tetris as an at-home game.
No.
Really?
I mean, video games, the first at-home console was Atari, and then the first really big one was Nintendo, the original Nintendo. But before that, it was the big stand-up games, like pinball machines and stuff. You remember?
Yeah, I remember arcade games. I just don't remember playing Tetris in an arcade.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
If you played Tetris in an arcade, give us a thumbs up.
Maybe you're not quite old enough.
I can't believe you. I never thought you would ever.
Me either.
Great. So when is that Mario Kart?
Next Tuesday? Two Tuesdays.
It's going to take place over a couple of days, right?
No, just one day.
Just one day.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm wondering. I wonder if it's going to be 15 people or 100 people. I think people will come
Sam
out
is
of the
going to
woodwork.
demolish you. So there's at least 2 people in this room who are going to play. Are you
Well,
playing?
I guess I didn't speak about why I was talking about this. So I got together. I had a few people over my house to play together, and Sam was one of them.
Is he as good as he says?
Yes.
Oh.
Sam was one of them and was fantastic, but I don't think she'll be beating me.
You don't know
But it was me, Sam, Rob Cromwell, Kristen, and Katie. It was a lot of fun. Yeah.
And you
I
destroyed
did win
everyone.
everyone.
Wow.
Katie won a few, actually.
A few races, but no cups.
Good. I hope you. What does the winner get? It's a fundraiser for Summer of Sass.
Yeah,
What does the winner
I
get?
guess
Something?
the idea is that all the money for all the tickets sold goes into a pot. It gets split in half. Half of that goes to Summer of Sass, and the rest of the half gets split in a way between the
Like
first, second, third. Yeah.
Okay, fun.
But it's gonna be fun. I think Mackenzie's performing. Giselle is hosting. It's gonna be a ton of fun.
Awesome.
Yeah, come watch me win.
Okay. I watch you win every Friday.
Ain't that the truth? But speaking of Rob Cromwell, he has his first article in the. I mean, not his first article because he's done the horoscope for the Provincetown Independent for quite some time. But I think he covered last week's select board, and it was specifically mostly about the Patrick. He went in front of the select board to talk about the Barracks project, and it's a really great article. So big congratulations
In
to Rob
today's
Cromwell.
paper?
Yesterday's paper. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
I get it on Friday morning in my mailbox.
Oh.
I know.
Hmm.
Be great if I got it on Thursday.
Wow.
Whoever's in charge of that, Paul.
Do should we do for your consideration and then we can do some news?
Wait, no.
Okay.
Before we talk about that, you guys, the Oscars are on Sunday.
Mm.
And I'll aside from all those fun theater things I did this week, I got caught up on. Do you know how much amazing gay like TV and movie content is out there right now?
Oh yeah.
Like more than ever before. And in this 1 week, I watched All of Us Strangers. I finished Fellow Travelers. I watched Naiad. It took 2 nights because it was so stressful. In the middle of
Naiad?
watching it the first night, Peter's like, turn it off when she's getting strangled by the Portuguese man of war.
What?
Spoiler alert. Peter was like, this is so stressful, turn it off. And I was like, oh my God, it's like a horror movie for like 10 straight minutes.
Oh.
It's very scary. And also the Truman Capote show, the Ryan Murphy Truman Capote show.
I thought you said it was enjoyable, but none of the characters were likable.
The performances on that TV show are so wonderful. People will win Emmys for acting for Capote, but everybody, the guy playing Truman Capote is mind-blowingly good. Diane Lane is my favorite of the Swan performances.
Mark is nodding in agreement.
Naomi Watts is also very good, but Diane Lane is really it for me. It's really a cautionary tale. Like last night was episode 7 of 8 of the Capote show, and his like descent into alcoholism. Another spoiler alert, sorry everybody, but is like really painful to watch and like experience. And like Joe Mantello, who plays his longtime partner, like always having been there for him, and like it was very traumatizing. But gay.
I feel like
fun.
the next season of Feud is going to be the exact same concept, except about Andy, what's his name from Bravo,
Andy Cohen
and all the housewives.
Ooh, you know they're all getting sued right now.
I also want them to do a season of Feud with Vampira and Elvira.
Vampira and Elvira.
Because there's like basically Vampira was a thing, blah blah blah, and then they wanted to do the Vampira story, and then they cast the woman to play. They cast the Elvira to play Vampira, and then Vampira was like, no, this is not right. This is not the person. And she backed out. So rather than telling the Vampira story, she just like, oh, well, I'm Elvira now. So basically, Vampira felt that Elvira ripped off her character.
It's like when Madonna sued Michelle Visage and served her with a cease and desist letter.
Exactly.
Order. Letter.
A
A letter order. Lottery? But all I want to say is this. We're all going to be filling out Oscar ballots this weekend. There are 3 different places in town to watch the Oscars this weekend.
Yes, come with me. Come and watch it with me.
Watch it with Tadana and Harry right here in the
Racine.
Provincetown Brewing Company. But this Best Actress race is getting really juicy. And now having watched Naiad, I really, really, really want Annette Bening to win.
Really?
I love her so much. She plays a grumpy old lesbian. She's so good at it. Even and Jodie Foster is great at playing a lesbian too.
Well,
Being one.
yeah.
Well, has she ever played one before? I've never seen Jodie Foster play a lesbian, and I was like, she's really good at this.
I guess you're right. I did just what I watched.
Right?
I watched True Detective the last season, and I loved it.
Uh-huh.
And then I went online, and everyone hated it, and I was like, oh,
Really?
I loved it.
She's never misses a note or a beat. Jodie Foster is always perfect. She's great in this, but Annette Bening, I really, really want Annette to win.
Yeah, and she was queer-ish in that.
Who?
Jodie Foster.
She-
Like the
yeah.
talk in the show was
Oh, in
always
that.
talking about the men that she was sleeping with, but
Right.
then there was her daughter, or like her stepdaughter, has a girlfriend, and she's not complaining. She's complaining about the situation, not the fact that she has a girlfriend. And she says it to her partner, and she goes, "Well, I've had plenty of those." And she's like, "Yeah,
Mm.
yeah."
Go ahead, Jodie.
Mhm.
But Annette, really, right?
Mhm.
Don't you think? Don't you hope? I don't think she's going to win, but I really, really want her to. So are we doing this game?
Yeah.
You tell people what your phone number is while I pull this up.
So Bob is going to read a monologue dramatically. And if you know where this monologue is from, call 617-676-7597 to guess the movie. Remember, there is a little bit of a time lag.
Fortunately, it's a long monologue.
Oh, good. I love when we get to the end and we just sit here waiting for someone to call. But if you know what movie this is from, call 617-676-7597. Is it across the bottom of the screen?
Say that number one more time, a little more slowly.
617-676-7597.
The first caller to call in and guess the name of the movie correctly will win this Wake Up in Provincetown mug, which you can pick up right here at 141 Bradford Street, the Provincetown Brewing Company.
Look at us.
And
both
here's a
drinking out of our
hint.
mugs.
I'm actually drinking out of this. This is empty. This is for the winner. But this monologue is from a currently Oscar-nominated performance.
Oh, word.
We're going to find out if
Are you
this
going to
person
do as
wins.
well as them?
No. I am not going to be nominated for an Oscar. Ready? Here goes. It is literally impossible to be a woman. You are so beautiful and so smart, and it kills me that you don't think you're good enough. Like, we have to always be extraordinary, but somehow we're always doing it wrong. You have to be thin, but not too thin. And you can never say you want to be thin. You have to say you want to be healthy,
We have a
but
caller.
also, wow, that was fast.
Hello, caller.
It's Barbie.
It is Barbie. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Kristen Becker.
Oh my God, Kristen Becker.
Kristen Becker, congratulations. Who's this person, Pat?
Ethan is behind the camera and he said, "Girl, everyone knows it's Barbie." Kristen, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for calling in. We'll get you your mug ASAP. I'm actually surprised you don't already have one, but you can have another.
We need a matching pair.
We'll give you two so you and Katie can both drink. Perfect. Bye, Kristen.
Congratulations, caller. Please pick this up. at
Where
the
are
Provincetown
you?
Brewing Company. Hang that up. That's us reverbing.
Oh.
She's at home listening to us.
Oh, work.
Thank you for watching and playing. And watch to see if America Ferrera wins an Oscar
Yeah.
on Sunday.
Do you have any predictions?
Yes, I predict that Emma Stone will actually win Best Actress. I predict that Oppenheimer and Cillian Murphy will both win for Oppenheimer. I want Robert Downey Jr. to win Best Supporting Actor as well.
For what?
Oppenheimer.
Oh.
He's
So
really
many people were
great.
in that, and I found out Florence Pugh was in it this morning.
Mhm.
I didn't see it.
It's I need to watch it again because I kind of hated it the first time.
Movies that are mostly only about white men, I can't follow. I can't tell them apart. I can't.
I can't tell Robert Downey Jr. and Cillian Murphy apart
No.
From that thing.
from Matt Damon.
Exactly. No, I can't watch.
doughy Matt Damon. He looks terrible in this movie.
Oh wow, drag him. I guess that monologue doesn't apply to Matt Damon.
Anyway,
You're not allowed to age.
no, you're not. Do you have any predictions for Sunday?
I didn't see enough of the films. I loved Anatomy of a Fall, though.
Mhm.
I hope she wins. I don't think she will. I did see Poor Things, Beautiful Things.
Poor Things.
It was wild.
It
It was
was
a wild
woo.
ride. Yeah, I felt like the pacing was odd.
Did you see it at the theater or at home?
I saw it at the theater here. The pacing was weird to me. There were parts that went really fast. There were parts that I'm like, why are we still here on this boat? Spoiler. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But other than it was aesthetically stunning, and I thought Emma Stone did a really great job. And I didn't even realize that was what's his name.
Mark Ruffalo?
Yes.
He's so good.
He
you
was
think he
really
should win?
good.
Robert Downey Jr. will beat him. Mark,
Yeah,
my
because
word.
He will because it's Hollywood, but he should win.
Yeah.
I thought Willem Dafoe should have been nominated for that movie.
Yeah, it's
Mm.
William Dafoe.
OMG.
I also, even though she's a Nepo baby, I love the other woman who is in it. Andy McDowell's daughter.
Oh, I don't know that.
Do you know how they make like another one?
Oh, that's Andy McDowell's
Yeah,
daughter?
Yeah. I love her though. Everything she's been. She was in Maid on Netflix. She was also in The Leftovers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Hmm.
Yeah. But those are my predictions. The dog from Anatomy of a Fall should win Best Actor.
Actually, Ryan Gosling should win Best Supporting Actor for
Ooh,
Barbie.
don't do that.
I thought he was the best part of that movie.
Come on. I hope Barbie wins Best Picture.
Me too.
It would be. Never mind.
It won't. What if it does, though? Stranger
I would
things
love
have
that.
happened. I hope that no matter what movie wins, they say Barbie, like when they
Yeah.
did that to
I think it had the
La La Land.
biggest impact on the cultural zeitgeist this year. Maybe that's because I live in a gay seaside town, but
And you saw
Who knows?
Barbies all during Carnival.
yeah, exactly. And dressed up as Barbie like 5 times. And who knows, maybe again at this Oscar party.
Are you gonna be Barbie?
Maybe.
Oh, now I want to come to this. Tell us about some news stories,
Okay,
Harry.
okay.
What's new around the
Let's-
world?
Should we do a couple local stories, or should we start with worldly
Let's
news?
start with local.
Okay, so on March 20th, the ribbon cutting for the brand new police station is going to happen with guided tours after.
I almost did a spit take. I'm so excited for this.
Yeah, me too. It was voted for in 2022. I'm not being critical, but I wonder, it happened so fast.
Mm-hmm.
And are there not housing projects that we voted on before the police station that haven't broken ground?
There's state funding
Okay.
involved with those.
Yeah.
This is what I want. I want to learn.
Yeah, no, this
It's a
is-
state funding thing.
Teach him.
Anything
Okay.
that has to do with state funding takes forever.
Okay, perfect. I
Mhm.
understood and can't wait for those housing projects to get up and running. Yes. Also in the newspaper this week, there is a new addition, not a new addition, an expansion of the Old Reliable project.
Mhm.
Their plan is to put in to revitalize the pier that used to be there, and also with a floating dock that will have I think 25 slips for boats. And this is in addition to the 31 hotel room, 4 condos, a restaurant and bar, meeting and event space.
Work.
Yeah. They posted this article from the Provincetown Independent on the community space, and there were 200 comments on it.
Before it got shut off.
I don't know.
Oh.
I stopped paying attention.
Work.
It was
Snap,
it was
snap.
another example of people really going hard for historic,
Mhm.
a la the murals at the. And I understand people who have a really strong feeling about the historic aesthetic of our town, but I think it is an upgrade from a pile of kindling sitting on the ocean, which is what it currently is.
Mhm.
Yeah. And yeah.
Historically, there were, obviously the town doesn't need 100 fishing piers anymore, but there used to be lots of piers and wharfs and
Yeah.
things,
I understand the scope of the project is a little larger than we're used to, and I understand the criticism there and the conversation around that. But I think the addition of more things for us as a community to be able to be a part of and go to restaurants, I'm excited for that.
things change.
Yeah,
A lot of people are anti-change,
they are.
and they like to tell you about it on the comm spaces. I can be anti-change myself.
Yeah,
Under the right
yeah.
circumstances.
I'm just like, and not that I think the people who are big into preserving historical aesthetics are wrong. I just don't see the value in that.
I actually do. I'm
Personally.
almost always on the side of preserving. I want it to look like a cute little New England town. Don't we want that? That's part of
Okay.
the charm here.
Okay.
Yes, otherwise it looks like the South End.
Yeah.
But do we want to look like a cute little seaside town that is falling down?
No,
Right.
It needs to be revitalized. It can't be a potential fire hazard forever and an eyesore and a danger. But this process is not over.
Mhm.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
I bet. Were you here after they rebuilt the Crown and Anchor after that fire in 2000?
Yes.
I'm sure when they rebuilt the Whalers Wharf, everybody's like, "Oh my God, what a monstrosity! Like, what is this huge thing that they built?" Nobody thinks that now. It's
Right.
just part of what we're used to.
Yeah.
Whatever ends up being there will be part of what we're used to.
Mhm.
It's going to piss people off until then, and after, and during.
And also, there's a lot of comments like, "There's nothing like this in town. It's going to stick out like a sore thumb." And I'm looking at the picture, and it might be bigger than the Whalers Wharf, but I'm like, it looks exactly like the Whalers Wharf.
Right.
So,
And it so far has passed every board and process that it's had to go
Mhm.
through.
I know it has a lot more to go through,
Yeah.
but
But it's chugging along.
yeah.
What else?
That is all I have for local news. Let's do a transition that's semi-local.
Okay.
Gay whales.
Aww.
Yeah, that's kind of local. These whales must have visited Provincetown and learned from us. But
Something in the water.
so for the first time ever, researchers have observed humpback whales having sex for the first time. And spoiler alert, both whales were male. Yeah. This is the first example of homosexuality demonstrated in the species. This occurred in Hawaii. And I guess that I didn't realize there was so little known about the reproductive habits of humpback whales. They said humpback whale penises had previously only been seen a handful of times, and they are typically sheathed in a genital slit. Is this too much for morning talk? But so another sighting has actually happened in the past. It was a similar incident reported in 1998 in which a male humpback had its penis extended out of that genital slit, and it was approaching a corpse of another male that had just died.
That's kinky. You need to hurry this one along.
The male whale the male whale that was being penetrated,
say male whale 5 more times,
appeared to be injured, and the top whale was holding in place with its pectoral fins. And they think that this is either a display of dominance over a wounded whale or reinforcing a social relationship and like kind of supporting that wounded whale.
Holding you down with my peck and exposing my sheathed penis out of the genital slit. I saw that movie. Right?
Jesus.
Girl, what?
But really interesting.
Super interesting. Well, they would like privacy. Like it's the first time humpback whales have been seen doing any sort of sexual activity, which means they don't want us looking at it. You know?
Right.
They're private.
They're shy.
Private species.
Yeah. I was just is it species or species?
If you say species, put a C in the comments. If you say species, put a she in the comment section.
I actually was wondering this within the past couple of weeks, and my first line in the Fantastics had the word species in it. And I always said species, and I think it might be species.
Is he pronouncing it speciously?
And I think I might have sounded stupid.
I think you might have too. I think we sound stupid right now.
Add it to the list. Okay. Another story that I'm really excited about. Do you know how they announced a little while ago that they were turning The Devil Wears Prada not from a movie into a movie musical, but rather a book into a movie musical, or into a musical?
Say that again? It's becoming a musical?
Yes.
Okay.
But the music is going to be written by Elton John, which is really exciting because he's just done so much great work. Aida, he did Aida, Lion King. He did do Lestat, which closed before it even opened, but woof.
Can't knock them all out of the park.
Yeah, but I'm excited for this. I can only imagine it's going to be like, cerulean, you know?
Lots of garment racks going.
Yes, lots of that. But they announced this past week that Vanessa Williams is going to be playing Miranda Priestley.
That is perfect cast.
That just checks every box for me.
Mm-hmm.
I love that so much. She's played that character twice already. If you came to see A Diva's Christmas Carol this past Christmas, it's the same character.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously in Ugly Betty, it was a very similar character. So I'm excited. And also, she has the most beautiful voice ever.
Do you know that Death Becomes Her is in pre-Broadway tryouts in Chicago?
Megan Hilty is.
Megan Hilty's in it. Michelle Williams from Destiny's Child is in it.
I think she plays the
One of the ghosts.
A Warning. No, the.
Oh,
I
really?
think.
Isabella Rossellini. And
Yes.
now a warning.
Now a Warning.
I can't wait for this to come to Broadway. It's in
Mm.
Chicago, I think, at the end of end of April until early June. But Death Becomes Her, I'm really excited about.
I think Megan Hilty is playing Madeline Ashton,
Mhm.
but very exciting.
Turn every gay cult classic into a musical, please.
Yeah, and then back into a movie musical.
Mhm.
Yeah,
It's the circle of life.
exactly. This one started as book to movie to musical, and let's be honest, probably movie musical at some point. Okay, one more story. So RuPaul announced this past week.
Who?
RuPaul.
Oh.
You know, the African American person with the most Emmys ever.
Really?
Yeah. But he announced that he was launching a bookstore called Alstora, and it is its claim is that it is an independent author-owned marketplace that wants to protect, promote, and empower all storytellers. Then, as people started digging, people found an endless amount of anti-gay books, specifically books written by, what is her name? Chaya Raichik, who is the woman who runs Libs of TikTok, which is a very problematic social media account, which basically doxes liberals and does really bad stuff. And then they delved even more into it. They realized that it is simply a drop shipping website. So, bummer. Add it to the fracking, you know?
Hey, girls
Yeah.
got to eat.
Yeah. Maybe our guest Ryan will have something to say about this when we come back. But no? You don't want to take RuPaul down? But let's hang out with the boys from Botanica. Yeah. What are you putting up? Award-winning.
Hey everybody, I'm at Botanica, 374 Commercial Street with Bob and Mark, the proprietors of this adorable store. You guys, thank you for making some time to chat with me.
You're very welcome.
Tell me a little bit about first your personal connection to Provincetown when you first got here. What made you want to stay?
Well, I started coming in the late 80s by myself, and I just thought it was the best place on earth, and I really liked it a lot. And then, let's see, we
met in 1990.
Here?
No, we met in Philadelphia. And then we didn't come that summer, but we came in 1991. We came every summer for a week until we finally bought a condo here, and then another condo, and now we live here.
And it was our lifelong dream to move to Provincetown and have a business here.
And when you first started coming for a week at a time, were there theme weeks in 1991?
No.
Like their week didn't exist yet, right?
No.
I don't think so.
How did you pick your week?
We always picked the last week of July. And
That's a good one.
Yeah, it was a nice long week, and it was sunny and always seemed to be really good weather.
Except for the one year when it rained all week and we bought a condo instead.
And we had nothing to do, and we were staying at the Brass Key, and there was nothing to do, and we thought, what are we going to do? So we went to an open house, and that's when we got the bug of thinking, well, maybe instead of spending all this money on a bed and breakfast for a week, we should just buy a little condo, and that way we could stay there instead.
Do you live here year round now?
We do. We live in North Truro. We sold our condo here. We moved there back in 2016.
Done with Philly for good?
Yeah.
Except to visit.
I'm from Delaware. I spent a lot of time in Philly in school.
Yeah.
Back when you could lay in the back of somebody's pickup truck and drive to Woody's from Newark. I don't recommend
We used
doing
to
that.
go to Woody's.
Good times.
Yeah.
So when did you open the store?
We opened it in April of 2013, and I had a shop similar to this in Philadelphia. Actually, was in Flourtown, Pennsylvania, and it was a shop called Botanical Expressions, and it was a shop like this, except it was a florist, and we also did in-home floral design and gardens, and it was a much bigger business. And we sold that business in 2011, and then it was our goal to come up here. And at first we didn't open it for a year or so, but then we started to look for spaces of where we would open.
And I had practiced law in Philadelphia and retired in 2012. I did his books and payroll.
He would work for
At
me on the
Botanical
weekend on all the
Expressions.
books.
You made him work on the weekends?
Yeah, he
He
worked
did.
every weekend and did all our books.
And then
Hired and fired my employees.
The dirty work.
Yeah.
and then we thought, well, we can do that. And we've done it basically ourselves for the last 12 years. The first year we had a couple of young people working with us, and then we realized we could do it ourselves. And that's what we've done.
And especially when you have a year-round business, trying to find people to work year-round around here that have secure housing, want to work year-round. That's a very small pool of people.
And it was not as bad 12 years ago, as you know,
Yeah.
but now it's impossible.
Yeah, damn near impossible. But you guys obviously have a flair for like garden goods. There's lots of live things in here. I know Mark is planning on taking this home at the end of this film shoot. But you've always had a love for plants and gardens, right?
Yeah, that's why, like the last business was Botanical Expressions, and we sold that business, and I didn't want to use the same name, so I thought, well, if we did Botanica, it's similar. So we did that.
We looked it up. We made sure the name wasn't registered in Massachusetts. And
Yeah, they'll get you.
And we took it.
Excellent. And it's
Yeah.
not just cute little gardenwares and housewares, but you've got some local art in here.
Yes,
We do.
yeah.
We sell lots of local art.
Yeah.
And we didn't do that at first, but like as the years went on, like artists would come in and say, I have this painting, can you sell it? And then I got to, like Derek McCara, who's one of our most popular artists. I found him at the canteen at Christmas time, and I went in there and I saw his art, and I thought, oh my God, this is just wonderful. And then I asked him if he had showed anywhere in town, and he said no. So I said, well, would you like to sell in our shop?
And he said yes, and that gave him a year-round presence.
Right.
And then he does a little festival here and there, shows at Spiritus 1 week in the spring. And other artists started to come in. We've always concentrated on Provincetown art for at least the last 10 years, because that's what people want.
Right. Absolutely. And this is because they are open all year, you can come in here and get gifts any time of year. I love coming in here at Christmas time. There's such stuff, especially for the Provincetown lover in your family, which of course is everybody in my family. So I just want to say thank you guys for being open all year. There aren't a ton of stores that are open all year. These guys are here. Right now it's just weekends, maybe till the end of March, but then, it starts to open up a little more, right?
Right.
So come down and say hi to Bob and Mark, you guys at Botanica. They're here all year. And even if they're not open, they're probably in here working and doing stuff.
And we're happy to see you.
Bob's doing the dirty work, as we've just discovered, but Mark will be here too, so come say hi. Thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Go say hi to Mark and Bob, you guys. Just so you know, Botanica for 10 years running has won the best gift shop on the Outer Cape in Cape Cod Life.
Yeah, I don't doubt that. It's awesome.
I know. Go in there. Don't fall asleep under a shelf and tell everybody that
And
you're there.
I don't know if you talked about this in the interview, but it's also very affordable.
Yeah, it is.
Yes. Please welcome Ryan LaSala to the Wake Up stage.
The yassified R.L. Stein.
I'm so excited to be. I'm a big fan, long time watcher, first time sitting in this chair here.
So you're in town for about a month to write for a bit?
Yeah, I'm doing that thing that I always promised I would do if I ever made a bunch of money writing books, that I would rent a cottage in a seaside town in the winter. I don't have the money, but I am renting the cottage.
You're just pretending?
Yeah, no,
we'll skip that first part.
We're coasting upon delusion currently, but it's really the dream to be able to come up here and be the cliche artist here for the inspiration. But that's me currently.
That's the cottage.
I have to tell a funny story about how this came to be. So I'm scrolling through TikTok, and this random person comes by and they're like, oh my God. So I'm a writer and I decided to rent a cottage in a little seaside town, and it's owned by these gay men and blah, blah, blah. He's like, but there's pictures of dicks everywhere in this house. And I was like, that's funny. And I was like, oh, gay seaside, maybe that's P-Town. And then there's also all these pictures of this dog. And then I realized that it's friends of mine who owns the house. So I commented on it, and then we started chatting. I realized he was an author, and I was like, oh, come on my morning show. It's called Wake Up.
Happened?
Yeah, and actually, I have to admit that this was all orchestrated in my mastermind.
Right.
I'm not even kidding you, because I watched the show, but I didn't want to approach the show and be like, hi, can I come say hello? And so I used the geotag feature on TikTok, and I was like, someone's gonna see it. Someone's gonna report this to the powers that be. And
right. I mean,
A single gay female.
yeah, exactly. No, I do want to write a retelling of Single White Female, but call it Mask for Mask. Come on, that's perfect.
I know a great cottage you can write in.
Perfect.
Are you getting a lot done?
I actually am. I just hit sort of the midpoint of a book that I have due in about 7 days. So not getting enough done, but also being here is part of the experience for me. The book is actually sort of set in a fictional version of Provincetown. So I'm here for the process of writing it, but also just for the, whatever I can sort of absorb from being here to take with me.
Well, you typically write horror, and in the winter in P-Town, there's plenty of horrors to see. So
yeah, but I'm a little surprised because this place is a little too engaging in the wintertime. I was expecting and sort of counting on a certain amount of desolation.
It used to be that way.
Yeah.
it's not anymore.
What
It's really
happened? It's so fun now, and
know.
I'm so distractible.
Yeah.
And so here I am, and I should be working right now, but what the fuck am I doing?
You're working. You're doing press.
Yeah, you're promoting your book.
That's right. Yeah.
Tell everybody about Beholder.
So my most recent book, Beholder, is okay. A little bit about me. I write queer horror novels. So all of my books are a little spooky and definitely very queer in just their central premise. And so my last book, Beholder, came out in October, and it's about a kid who goes to a party that he shouldn't be at in New York City, and someone locks him in a bathroom, an experience we can all relate to. But because he's locked in the bathroom, he ends up being the sole survivor of this like ritualistic mass murder.
Oh, wow.
And now, as a sole survivor, he's also the primary suspect. He's got to figure out what these murders, there's multiple, are doing in New York City, what they have to do with like his family's tragedy. And also he notices, because he comes from sort of like an interior design empire, that all the murder scenes that he's connecting all have the same wallpaper, an interior designer. Yeah. So
Did you bring us a copy of the book?
yes, yes, they're right outside. We'll
To
have
be
to
handed off camera.
Yeah, no signing later. I actually do know that a lot of my books are often at East End Books. I go
no
in and
way.
I sign the copies there often. So
Cute.
if people do want books, they're available. And you
Yeah.
should shop local if you can.
Yes.
It's available to you.
Yes. One of your books is also being made into a movie.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. The Honeys, which is about a queer kid that goes to a summer camp to investigate like hot popular girl. You know, like the hot popular
Yeah.
girl, like the Heathers, sort of. He's convinced that they have something to do with the death of his sister, who is being initiated into sort of their group when something horrific happened to her. And they call themselves the Honeys in the book because they take care of a beehive behind their sort of bucolic woodland cottage. And like obviously shit's fucked up.
And then
So-
murder people.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you know, as these things go. And so yeah, that's being adapted for a feature film.
Cool. What got you into writing horror?
Spite.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I truly like. I feel like I spent my childhood like clutching my pearls, waiting for like the final girl to like do something about her predicament, you know. And I also have watched many queer people meet their end in horrific ways in like cinema and movies, or you know, tragedy is sort of like
Real
our
life,
inheritance often in pop culture. And so I really wanted to write queer characters that had their queerness like hand in hand with like whatever their power was going to be to kind of overcome these scenarios. And so I grew up, you know, I read Twilight and Hunger Games and all of these other books that were given to me as a teen, where there are no gay people, and I was like, this is garbage. But then I thought, oh my God, well, anyone can write garbage. I can write garbage. And so I took it upon myself to like write garbage, and it started out as a hobby, but then to everyone's utter shock, I got published, and now here I am. And so we're
On
gonna
Wake
keep
Up
the
in Province.
Yeah, right.
Wow,
yeah.
you did
We're
it.
gonna keep the ruse going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but it all started with Sailor Moon fan fiction, right?
Yes.
Your face.
Whoa.
Your face.
Whoa.
He did his homework.
We've done our research. Yes. Actually, yeah.
So you're a big fan of Sailor Moon.
I love Sailor Moon. I'm not like a very strong reader, ironically, I know. So I'm very slow, but I loved like comic books and graphic novels growing up, and anime especially, because it was this like haven of like, there's so much more magic, so much more like queerness. And I was like a kid in the 90s, and so it was cool to kind of come home and see like Sailor Moon dancing around with her like lesbian friends. And then, you know, I was like, oh, I want that. I want that for myself too. So I love Sailor Moon. I still love Sailor Moon. I talk about it all the time.
You were tweeting about it at midnight last night.
How detailed does this gonna get?
I was getting ready for bed, and I was like, let me look Ryan up really quickly. And I was like, I wanted to message you, but I was like, I don't want him to know that I was up at midnight for a show that I have to be on at 8 o'clock. So I was sleeping, but I saw your tweet.
Oh no,
at midnight.
I was up chasing my cat around. She was sabotaging me, I think. If you're watching this, my cat is fucking dead. We have a lot to talk about.
But I mean, the tweet was specifically Christians are coming for my Sailor Moon.
Yeah. I have these weird like tangos with like Christians online sometimes because of the nature of who I am and also the nature of what I write. It being horrific, it also being marketed to like children, right? Like teens. A lot of people don't see the value in what scary stories have always sort of provided to like an adolescent experience. Ironically, a lot of those people are people that like love the Bible, which is full of horrors meant for adolescents. But you know, that's neither here nor there. But I was talking about Sailor Moon and the themes of like absolution and redemption that are sort of built into that particular character. So if anyone knows Sailor Moon and sort of remembers the anime, you'll know what I'm talking about. But
Best transition ever. The outfit change.
Yeah,
is
you don't need to know
wild.
anything else about Sailor Moon other than like the glittery transformations,
Yes,
because that's
yes,
primarily what I was
Yeah,
watching for.
yeah.
And now, as an adult, I found ways to be poetic about it.
Mm.
But fundamentally, it's just a show about girls like throwing tiaras at one another.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you had any experience with like the book bannings that have been happening around the country, or have you been involved in any of those?
Yeah, a bunch of them actually. It's a really very well organized effort, and they sort of have a set list that they target. They tend to go after books that they're successfully able to create a lot of controversy over, and very rarely is it about the books. It's usually about rallying support around a candidate. So you'll see these happening during like elections. Yeah, I've been definitely the focal point of a few conflagrations, but I've also, as a result, seen communities sort of rise up and check themselves against like homophobia. So it's been an interesting position to be in, watching this conversation sort of take place over your head. Because as an author, I really don't have a ton of power in it. It's not really about me. I'm not the one fighting that battle. It's librarians, it's teachers. Those are the people that kind of have to take on these complaints.
Right.
So I always try to give them a shout out. And I also try to tell people that if this is happening in your community, find those librarians, find those teachers, and lend them your support, because they could definitely use it.
Awesome. Yeah. So we can get your books right here in town at Easton Books, probably.
Mhm.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
You have 4 of them, though, right? 4 books that are out.
Yes.
Great.
Yes. I'm sorry, I'm in a daze. I'm like about to have another one out, but
Are you going to be at Drag Race at the Crown and Anchor tonight?
yeah, I'll come say hi.
Bring his book to the Drag Race showing and get him to sign it.
Yes, we'll set up a little
Yes.
table. I'll bring little Livestrong bracelets. It's gonna be great.
Work.
But you're going to work all day before that.
Yes.
Good.
Yeah, I'm gonna work really hard.
Perfect. Thank you so much for coming in this morning.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you so much. Bye, everyone.
Let's head on over to Babes and Boys and find out everything that's going on this weekend.
Happy International Women's Day, everybody. It is March 8th on Wake Up in Provincetown, and we're going to celebrate all day at WOMR with the lineup of all women for International Women's Day. Catch Carmen and I at 12 o'clock for Babes and Boys Presents. It's also Out of Hibernation weekend this weekend, with many events that can be found only at the Crown, a meet and greet, we got drag viewing party, we got bingo, we got dances. Check it out of Hibernation with the Ursa Men. Also, Nice Hog is back at the Crown and Anchor. Get your resi on now. And if you want some wine with your painting, at the Truro Vineyards, there's a paint and sip featuring artist Colin McGuire this Friday. Then, also speaking of art, the Fine Arts Work Center is hosting their Fellow Fridays. It's a great event, y'all. Make it out there. Go say hey. And guess what? There's a new addition. Giselle is back at the Friday nights in P-Town Flowchart. Check them out at Tin Pan and check out everyone else. Also, Saturday, Bare Naked Yoga at Outermost Yoga. Sure to be a treat. And everyone's been waiting year-round for the Year-Rounders Festival at Town Hall from 10 to 4. We got pet parades. We got many people celebrating and many, many different acts, so go check that out. It's in its 37th year, can you believe? Also, Nicole's going to be at the library at 1 p.m. to talk about food for your gut. I think I'm going to check that out. I'll see you there. Then on Sunday, spring forward. Hooray! More daylight. I love it. Less sleep, I don't. And then we have 3 different chances to view the Oscars. You can view it at the brewery, you can view it at the Crown and Anchor with a special red carpet best dress competition where the winner gets passes to the Provincetown International Film Festival. And also Liza Lott and Abby Cummings. It's going to be hosting a watch party at Governor Bradford. So you can take your pick. Do you want to go see Local Honey and Tadana and Racine Oxby? Do you want to go see Giselle and Jake, or do you want to go see Liza Lott and Abby Cummings? Or do you want to go see everyone? I promote that. I will see you all at all of these parties. Then on Tuesday, Carmen and I are back at it again with our final Stitch and Bitch of the season. Soup Exchange, Stitch and Bitch, bring your own crafts. It's going to be a great night, and it's the last one, so I want to taste your soup. Come and bring your soup. Also on Tuesdays, Mona Moore does Townie Trivia over at the Grotto Bar. It's free to play, doors at 7, and the game's at 7:30. It's always a great time over there. And Soleil Luna's back in session with sound bath meditations and yogas, Tuesdays and Thursdays. Go check them out and say hey to Olivia for us. Then there's the Film Art series on Thursday with La Talante. They've been rocking out all season long. Go check it out. Howard Karen leads a discussion. It's a great time. And all month long, taproom trivia is featuring women, and I think Brittany Rolfs is up this week. Don't quote me on it. And then finally, save the date because we are gonna serve you some St. Patty's Day fare on St. Patty's Day at the brewery. Get your tickets at the Eventbrite. We'll have it at babesandboys.com. If you want anything, again, please email babesandboys@gmail.com. It's going to be a packed week. We are out of hibernation. Spring is slowly coming, which means summer is even closer than we think.
Be sure to check out Sam and Carmen today on WOMR for International Women's Day. Please welcome Pastor David Brown and also Kate Wallace Rogers. Thank you for coming in this morning.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
What's going on in North
Exciting.
Truro?
A lot of stuff. So the chapel on the pond, which I'm the pastor there for the past 7 years, now is up for sale by the owners. And the chapel on the pond was actually run under the ministry called Boathouse Ministry. So being the pastor there, now that is up for sale. It's like there's no place for us right now. The doors are closing us, and so right now we're in the quest to find a home. And so with that being said, the community has stepped in to help us. And so with Kate, who are spearheading this campaign, she's amazing, and they're asking for $1.5 million.
Wow.
But we're grateful that people from the community has stepped up to the plate, and so far one donor has committed to $500,000 and has planned to match whatever we comes up with. And so we're working on that along with the GoFundMe that is launched, and we're hoping that in short order we will reach the mark. You know, it's been a great ordeal for us as a community, but we trust in God. We're God-believing people, and we trust that a miracle will happen.
We're under a little bit of a time crunch with this.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so, yes. And so we are hoping and asking, because the community really has poured out, and I'm amazed I know that I was loved, but not to this magnitude. I didn't understand. I really realized that I was loved to this magnitude. So all the people in the community are just hoping the doors, open their hearts, to help and give support. And I think it's going to happen, even though the time is short and, we are limited. We are appealing to the public, to the community to just come,
Yeah.
give what you can, make it happen.
Yeah.
We need
Yeah.
our church.
Yeah.
Yep.
I got involved when I had read, there have been a series of articles in the Independent, Provincetown Independent newspaper. And immediately after I read the first one, knowing Pastor Brown as somebody who had helped us at the UU Racial Justice Provincetown group, and he's shown up at Juneteenth, the huge drag show that happened last summer, and he keeps standing up for the community, and he's been here. He won't tell you all of this, but he's been here over 32 years.
That's right.
And
Wow.
he's been through a lot of trials and tribulations, like all of us who live in Provincetown. It's not easy, and you have to work 4 jobs. But I'm just moved by what I've learned about the H-2B visa process and how so many people have been working for the community for 30 years plus. And it's time for the community to give back to that Jamaican workforce that's been the backbone and heart and soul of this community. So that's why I was moved to.
Oh yes, and I really appreciate the fact that actually when this thing happened, it was Kate who called me and said, Pastor Brown, I heard of your situation, and we invited me to her house, and we had a meeting. We sit and we talk and said, we're going to do something. We have to. This can't happen like this.
Yeah.
And so she stepped in, and oh boy, it hits off, and it's amazing, you know. And I just want to thank the community for the overwhelming support they're giving.
The really important thing to mention is that once Pastor Brown and my partner Myra Coy and Reverend Kate Wilkinson talked, right after that, we heard from Fred Gechter, who is the head of the Truro Conservation Trust. And he's really been helping support this whole concept that the Truro Conservation Trust is buying the property and leasing it back to the church in a model that they had with the Truro Center for the Arts, where they buy a little building, there's land involved, and they lease the building back to the people who will maintain it, pay the insurance and utilities and all of that. But it's a way that we can partner, and their support has been crazy and valuable. And they're the ones who got that first 500,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you have one angel donor so far.
Well, we have one archangel donor and tons of cherubs and seraphim and all that.
That's right.
And we just reached yesterday, 50%, the halfway mark on the GoFundMe campaign, which we're raising $50,000 in a big net, you know, reaching out, growing awareness, and the outpouring of generosity and kindness has been huge. And then Truro Conservation Trust has also been collecting donations, and they're up to 27,000, which brings the whole thing with the matching up to over $600,000. The actual tax assessed value on the books in Truro is $611,000. So the idea that we've just about gotten that now is hugely encouraging. From there on, it's going to go really fast. And we're just now approaching Provincetown businesses, and we're looking forward to that support for the workforce that has kept the businesses going.
Yes, which I work in town here, and I know all the business, the contractors, and all the business, the restaurant owners and the businesses owners.
You may know him from Lands and Marine.
Yes. I know it will happen. They plan to give their support, and so as we reach out to them, I'm just hoping that this will, this process will speed up. Within short order, we can celebrate.
Love that. How long have you been with the Pond Village congregation?
7 years. Wow. 7 years.
And it's a mostly Jamaican congregation?
Yes, the greater, yes. Yeah.
And that I feel like that's so important to keep a space like that, because so many people come here to work with us, and having a place of community that they can feel really at home is so important when they're so far away from their home.
Absolutely. We consider it home. We call it home. And now, now that it kind of hurt that we're somewhat, the doors of our house is closing us.
Not just yet.
Not just yet. Thank you for that.
Still open a crack.
Thank you for that,
Yeah.
And so we are anticipating that day when we will be able to.
So people can contribute on the GoFundMe. There's also an event next Friday, March 15th.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah.
And at the Commons.
At the Commons.
And, so we'll be there, and we're going to talk about it.
Well, just quickly, the event at the Commons next Friday, 5:30 to 7. We are going to be having a Meet the Community ally. It's like allyship and conservation, and it's a big fundraiser. Yeah, it's a fundraiser.
All of it's a fundraiser.
We're gonna have Jamaican food, and Carlene and a couple of surprise guests singing. There'll be a chance to ask questions to both Fred Gechter from the Truro Conservation Trust and to Pastor Brown. And we just need to keep this conversation going, because there is some misunderstanding that we want to dismantle about the relationship between this beautiful faith community and like how open they are to LGBTQ. We call them family. We all, I don't know if you want to speak a little more to that, how that feels for you.
Oh, well, when the question is asked, and there's a common question to be asked: do we accept LGBTQ? And it's a question that is somewhat, I don't understand it clearly. It struggles me to understand, because when I look around me, who are the people that are supporting me, that is around me? As a pastor, the love of God is unconditional. Unconditional. And my acceptance of any individual does not determine your destiny. And we all God's people. You understand? And we should accept and appreciate each other for who they are. And that's where I stand.
We're all in this together.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So many people feel like Provincetown is a queer community, but what it really is, it's a queer community, it's a Portuguese community, it's a Jamaican community, it's a Bulgarian community, and all of us have our spaces where we feel home.
That's right.
And that's why it's so important for us as a whole, as a community, to support each other in that.
Absolutely. And there's just love all over.
Yeah,
exactly.
There's so
True.
much love in this place. Like I said, Provincetown in general is one of the safest places in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's amazing.
And the people are just
For all of us to walk
just
around.
amazing.
Yeah.
And
it's all of us doing that together and
that's
creating
right.
that environment.
That's right.
And this place here, this Provincetown Brewery, which is your home, has a mission to broaden the community, to support the community. I've been to many events here where funds were raised for all sorts of, the van that served people at the Mexican border. It feels like love all around here. And this is an incredibly loving event.
Yes.
I delivered a sermon at the UU called Spirit of Love, which talks more deeply on this subject. And you can find that on YouTube if you want to look. It's not easy, but it's here.
Yes. And God is love, and where the Spirit of God is, there's liberty. And so that's where we are.
Yeah.
Right.
So we look forward to helping you fundraise throughout the next week. We'll see you next Friday.
Sweet. The other
Wonderful.
thing, just, is that we're having an open house at the chapel following up on the Saturday, and that's at 4:00.
Next Saturday.
Yeah,
after the
yeah.
fundraiser.
So people can see this beautiful
That's
space.
right.
It's all pressed tin. It's gorgeous and full of light, and
Absolutely.
it shines.
And-
Super shiny.
Be it known that the church is for the community.
Yeah. And
The-
we're
the-
hoping that there will be more community
People attending.
people attending,
That's right.
and community programs, programming like
Abso-
concerts,
Absolutely.
open mic, yoga
Yes.
classes. That's going to be the future. And we look,
Portrait reading.
yeah,
All of that.
That's
We'll
amazing.
give you guys a reminder next Friday morning, of course.
great.
And thank you for coming on.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you for this.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
A few more announcements before we head out. Me and Sam are gonna be at the Year Rounders Festival tomorrow, so stop by 10 to 4. Definitely come by. Also, there is a Boots and Boxers party tomorrow evening.
Oh, it's out of hibernation.
Yeah, it's out of hibernation. We forgot.
Sam mentioned
Over
it.
at the Crown and Anchor, and our very own Andrew is going to be DJing, and it's his birthday, so definitely stop by.
And happy International Women's Day, everybody.
Yes.
Yay!
Yes.
Right.
Thank you to our sponsors.
Yeah.
The Crown and Anchor, the Provincetown Brewing Company, the Boat Slip, Shipwreck at the Brass Key, and the Provincetown Business Guild.
Mhm.
And we'll see you Sunday for the Oscars. And also next Sunday for St. Patrick's Day, right here at the Provincetown Brewing Company, Sam and Carmen are going to be making cabbage, corned beef, potatoes, the whole thing right here at the Provincetown Brewing Company. Is a fundraiser for Babes and Boys, so definitely come support. I did it.
We'll
I
see you
got it
next
all.
Friday. Thank you for waking up in Provincetown.
Wherever you are.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Wake up. Wake up, wake up. In Provincetown.